Conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast where it's Christmas all the time. I'm Dan O'Keefe, and joining me as always is that holly jolly elf, Anna Otto. How are you, Anna?
Dan, I literally picked this movie out, and Gage goes, "Why'd you pick a Christmas movie?" I went, well, I didn't know if Dan would want to watch this at Christmas. I figured it'd be too much for actual Christmas time. But I really like this first Gremlins. I've never seen Gremlins 2, so this will be an adventure. But I'm good, Dan. How are you?
I'm good. I had a long day of travel today because I flew from Chicago to Los Angeles.
Your holiday trek.
And I'm pretty sure a guy in the row in front of me got banned from all American Airlines flights.
Oh my God, for what? What did he do?
So basically, he kept taking off his mask.
Oh,
and
no.
The flight attendant would come by and she would go, "You need to put your mask on," and he'd put it back on. And then 5 minutes later, he would take off his mask and fall into like a deep sleep where his head would be bobbing up and down. And then
me in math class when I was in high school.
Half an hour would go by. Flight attendant comes again. "You need to put your mask on."
Oh, God.
By the end of there was also the woman who was sitting next to him was obviously uncomfortable.
So it wasn't like his spouse or something?
Definitely
It was
not.
a rando?
It was definitely
God.
Because the flight attendant, I think, gave her, like, free stuff. And to be like, "I'm so sorry that this experience was so bad." But the flight attendant came to the guy. He was also in the middle seat, so...
So you have to climb over him to go to the bathroom. Yeah. That's the worst.
She's like, "Okay, I need to see your ticket." He was like, "What?" He was like, "Pilot wants it. She's got to see it."
Not the pilot!
So she takes it, and then she comes back with like a 3-page written document.
Ooh, he probably got fined.
Something like that. And I was like, that's the kind of drama I would prefer to have on my plane than a screaming match.
God, I would have given anything to witness this go down, Dan. I'm not going to lie.
I will say he was a very under-emotive
Was
passenger.
he? Was he older, do you think?
No, he was like our age.
What?
I know, right?
No, not to sound like ageist, but that's shocking to me. That's incredibly shocking to me.
Yeah. I don't get it. Like, sure, it's annoying to wear a mask, but also, you just gotta do it.
Yeah, nobody wants to do it. Like, it's not my favorite new accessory, but I'm doing it because I should.
Mine is hand sani. That's my favorite accessory now.
Oh, that's my favorite accessory too. Are you working a Bath and Body Works hand sani, or is it just?
I am not. No, I have a bottle of just straight up Purell, the old classic.
Reliable.
But in my car, I have a big old bottle that was on sale for 50 cents of the hand sanitizer that smells just like raw alcohol.
Oh God, that stuff that makes you smell like you're coming home from the bar.
Yeah. It gives me flashbacks because last winter, I was walking distance from UWM, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, technically my current school, and I would go and just get a COVID test once a week because I was bored. I wasn't doing anything. It was free. I could just go and do it. I was keeping myself and my community safe.
Okay.
But that's the kind of hand sanitizer they had there, and I'm like, memories.
Did they have the one that was, like, branded to look like gin?
No.
Oh, some places in Wauwatosa come in containers where it, like, is called bathtub gin hand sanitizer, and it's, like, made to look like gin.
Wonderful.
It's really funny, but it smells like booty.
Of course.
It literally smells like I dipped my hands into a barrel of something.
Into a barrel of ass.
Literally.
Speaking of barrels of ass, the movie that we're talking about today
Hold it right there. More like barrels of joy.
is Gremlins. Released in 1984, directed by Joe Dante, written by Chris Columbus.
No, boo!
Boo? Chris Columbus? What?
It was a Christopher Columbus joke. I'm sorry. Chris Columbus, though, didn't he do some other good stuff that I probably like?
Yeah, he did Home Alone. And Home
I don't
Alone
care
2.
for that. I don't care for her.
And Mrs. Doubtfire. And Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
I'm back. You lost me, but now I'm back.
He also directed The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson movie.
Oh, I never saw her.
And he produced The Help.
Oh.
Huh.
Not sure how to feel about that.
With a name like Chris Columbus, you have to produce white savior films. Thank you!
Daniel.
Thank you. Hey, I mean, for all I know, he's a perfully fine guy. I don't know.
Yeah, with just a, unfortunate
He just produced
name.
The Help. This movie was executive produced by Steven Spielberg.
Woo!
And it stars Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, Hoyt Axton, Polly Holliday, Francis Lee McCain, and Judge Reinhold.
And one other little boy that we did not protect in Hollywood.
Corey
Thank you very much.
Feldman.
Thank you. I have so many opinions about this. When Gage and I watched Lost Boys over the summer, when I was not thirsting over Alex Winter and his crop top.
You should have.
I said when I was not. I was.
Okay.
And Kiefer. We love Kiefer in this house.
Yeah.
I was literally crying over I'm being serious, all jokes aside, the injustice that Corey Feldman and so many other little children faced in the 80s. We did not protect children in the 80s in Hollywood.
No.
And it makes me so upset.
With the new Harry Potter retrospective that came out recently, a lot of takes that I've seen about it have been, it's really incredible how all of the child actors that were cast in Harry Potter are sane and were treated like human beings and not just used, abused, spit up, and thrown out.
Yeah, because in the 80s especially.
And before.
But not so much now, but even still now, I would say. Child actors are just treated like such booty. And I'm sure you know about all the drama with like Corey Feldman trying to come forward and talk about how, I can't remember if it was him or the other Corey.
Ooh, you brought the mic close for this.
Yeah, because I feel I was getting really heated last night. Gage told me all this, about how they came forward and stated that they had been sexually assaulted by Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
And everybody refused to believe. And it's just so sad, and the drug abuse, and these kids were getting drunk on set because it was just them with a bunch of adults, and the adults didn't give a fuck. So they just get drunk and high on set, and they be children. Like, they're just exposed to so many terrible things, and it makes me so sad. And as much as I love these movies, it almost makes it hard to enjoy them. Because you see now what travesty went into creating this art. And while I love the art, nobody should be treated that way. And nobody should be harmed in a way to create something. Anyway, hi.
Howie
I feel
Mandel
strongly.
is also the voice of Gizmo.
Gizzy! Oh! Okay. Sorry, I had to get heavy for a minute. I'm back.
Released on June 8th, 1984. The perfect weekend to release a movie that starts off with Christmas, Baby, Please Come Home.
The whole movie is Christmassy. But it's a Christmas movie.
With a budget of $11 million, it made $212.9 million.
Yeah, that reads.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 85% approval rating.
Only 85.
Whether
it should be
you
100.
choose to see it as a statement on consumer culture or simply a special effects heavy popcorn flick, Gremlins
Yes.
is a minor classic.
A minor?
Big
Who wrote
Raj,
this?
Roger
Hands
Ebert
on
gave
sight.
it 3 out of 4 stars. He called it not only fun, but a sly series of send-ups.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Undefeated, Roger Ebert.
Dan, you like Don's, right? Or you did when you lived in Milwaukee?
Don's TV Repair and Diner.
Yes.
Yes.
Not sponsored. They have a lot of Gremlin stuff. That's all I was gonna say.
That's it.
I also just really want to go back there. I really want some alcoholic milkshakes, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Not sponsored. If you're in Milwaukee, go check it out. It's really cool.
And if you're Don's, give us a ring.
Spawn us.
Our number
Don.
is written underneath one of your tables.
Underneath all of them, next to a pair of lipstick lips.
I can't believe you made me put on lipstick for that.
You're welcome, Dan.
So, before we get into it, I do need to make a production comment. My audio sounded really bad last episode, and that's because I found out after the fact that my headphones weren't recording, and it was actually just the microphone in my laptop that was picking up the audio.
Dan.
So I apologize, all you audiophiles, for the poor quality of my audio file.
I was going to say, you didn't sound bad at all to me, but that explains why.
That's because you're in love with my voice, and you're blinded.
It's me, Ursula. I'm coming to just your voice.
Want to just get into it?
Yes, Gremmys.
Let's get into it. It is 1984. It is Christmas time. The snow's coming down. I'm watching it fall. Lots of people around. Baby, please come back to Back to the Future.
Yes.
Same town square from Back to the Future. In this movie, however, it is Kingston Falls. And technically, this came first.
Yeah, I was going to say, wouldn't it be Back to the Future was shot on the Gremlins lot? Not Gremlins was shot on the... Anyway, Gremlins walked so Back to the Future could run.
Yeah. We hear a voiceover from Rand Peltzer, a name that only a mother could love. Who
is Rand short for Randall?
Yeah, probably. Or Random. This is my son, Random.
Okay.
And he's telling about the time that he went to Chinatown and looked at all the exotic people.
Yeah, I was saying, said some racist things.
Yeah. He's looking for a toy or a gift for his son for Christmas. So he decides to get him a pet of undetermined origin.
It's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Howie Mandel's never looked better to this day.
Gizmo doesn't have the soul patch, and I think that's it.
It's what makes him cuter than Howie Mandel.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. I asked Gage, was Howie Mandel an actor? Because my whole life until last night when Gage reminded me that Howie Mandel voiced Gizmo, thought Mans was famous for being a magician.
Was he a magician? He was a stand-up comedian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Howie.
He's a stand-up comedian. He was on Saint Elsewhere for 6 seasons.
Well, I know he was, on Deal or No Deal. He was a voice of
Skeeter, Animal, and Bunsen in Muppet Babies.
What?
Yeah. He was in Bobby's World for 8 years. He's an actor.
This is fake. Fake news. He is a magician. I literally thought Howie Mandel was a magician.
I don't think he is.
Oy vey. Well,
yeah.
Now we know.
Never been nothing on his Wikipedia page mentions him as a magician.
Oh my god, the pictures of him with hair are giving me anxiety.
How long ago do you think he stopped hosting Deal or No Deal?
Well, I can see what year it was on because I'm on Google looking at his previous movies.
Mm-hmm.
But if I hadn't looked, I probably would have said like 2012.
I know. He stopped in 2019.
I know. That's crazy. What the heck?
Howard, what are you doing?
He voiced a movie called Where Did I Come From?
That sounds
About-
like a sex ed film.
It is a sex ed film.
The answer? Wouldn't you like to know?
The stork.
So Rand, he's also an inventor, and he's a really bad inventor because, of course, he is.
It was giving me holes.
Oh yeah, mister
Mhm.
Yelnats.
Yes.
Also, what was that? Say that sentence out of context.
It was giving me holes. It was giving holes. No, I know. I said it and I was like, I hope Dan knows what I'm talking about.
So with this creature, there are 3 rules. Do not get it wet.
Mm-hmm.
Do not put it in the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, do not feed it after midnight.
Do you think you could abide by those rules?
The hardest would... I probably couldn't. I could do the not feeding it after midnight. That wouldn't be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not great at drying my hands.
That's the one that I'm always concerned about too. Like my hair is always wet. Like I come out of Gage always gets mad because he says that I come out of the shower still wet. So I like leave footprints. I don't think I do. I think that's false. But you know, what if it went in the bathroom right after I showered, you know?
You'd have 8 million gremlins.
I would. I'd have so many of them.
I also wouldn't be able to do the keep it out of the sunlight because I like to have my blinds open all the time. I like having the sun come in.
Yeah, I guess maybe he's nocturnal. So like maybe he sleeps during the day so you could just put him in your bedroom with the blinds pulled.
Yeah, that might work.
And then yeah. Or like a parrot, you just put a little blanket over its cage.
Yeah. Next up, we meet Billy, who can't get his car started. On
Gosh
this
dang.
snowy morning with his dog in the car.
Barney.
And his neighbor comes
His
by.
racist neighbor.
Mr. Futterman, and talks about racism.
Oy vey. Some of the things that come out of that man's mouth in this movie, I'm like, whew. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is one of the most product placement heavy movies I think I've seen in a long time.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to mention that. There's
Is it-
product placement in every scene.
Is that satirical? Or was it serious?
I think it was serious because they're real products.
But
It's not like Truman Show, that's satirical product
Yes.
placement.
you can use product placement, like over-the-top product placement, to make a point, which kind of this movie is kind of a point of over-commercialism.
I guess, but I also think of other movies from the time and how they were, and they're not like Back to the Future or like E.T., like other famous movies from the 80s
Mhm.
that aren't about commercialism, but think about all the like over-the-top product placement.
Back to the Future was having sex with Pepsi.
Literally, Pepsi was paying the bills. Oh my god.
um,
Oh,
Billy,
no.
Billy goes to the bank with Barney in tow. That's his dog. His dog that sits underneath the counter while he works. Very cute. Living the dream.
So cute.
Wish it was you. That's my dream
That-
for you.
As the dog, you want to sit under the counter while your owner?
No, I'm saying I wish you could have a dog sit under your desk while you worked all day.
Oh, thank you, Dan.
You're
That's
welcome.
really sweet of you. I also wish that. I was a little confused.
At work, Billy's visited by Mrs. Deagle, the bitter old woman who wants to hang his dog.
Did you notice how I almost just called her a bitch and she's not a real
I did.
person? She was saying some heinous things. I was like, honestly, if I knew her, we
Mhm.
would not get along.
You know that
Period.
story of how when Margaret Hamilton appeared on Sesame Street in the 70s or 80s and she was in Wicked Witch
yes.
makeup and the kids were all terrified of her?
Yeah.
I feel like
It was Mr. Rogers, I thought, where she was like, it's just make believe, and she like explained to everybody what the difference between.
I think the actress who plays Mrs. Deagle has to do that for you.
Absolutely, she'd come near
Otherwise,
me
you
and I'd
would
be
just-
like,
just you see her, you're shadowboxing.
I literally hands on sight.
Yeah.
I would say to her, I heard you hate dogs, bitch, and then hands. And she'd be like, Anna, it's just a character. I'd be like, that was the scariest thing. Top 10 anime villains, honestly.
After work, Billy goes to the bar where he meets up with Judge Reinhold, who is wonderful in this movie.
Oh, Judge.
He could not say shaken, not stirred. He's unable to say that line.
He's not cool enough to say that line. Sorry, Judge.
He says vodka martini, shake, don't stir 3 times.
Oh my god. Do you think that they like shot that scene multiple times and every time he got it wrong and they just gave up?
According to what I found, yeah.
Oh,
He
Jesus,
could not
really?
get it right. They let it because it made him seem even more pretentious and clueless. But he never said the line right.
Oh my god. Every time he says it, cut, Judge, please. I'm
Shake
begging
hand.
you, please.
Shake
in.
hand, not. I got it. Shake and stir. Shake,
No,
don't stir.
no. Have you seen that video where the guy can't say buttery flaky crust?
I have, yeah.
Buttery flaky crisp. Oh my god.
So Judge Reinhold, his character's name is Gerald. Don't call him Jer. He's Gerald now.
Which is hilarious because I call my dad Jer behind his back all the time.
Also at the bar is Billy's co-worker, Kate.
How old are they?
I think they're like fresh out of college.
Okay, because I was like, he's like kind of close with with Corey Feldman.
Uh-huh.
And I know it's probably because he like is just the neighborhood kid that everybody knows and like it's a small town.
Yeah.
But they're just like vibing and hanging out. And I was like, what's the age here? What's the age gap?
I don't know. He could have babysat for him. He could babysit
That's what I
for
was
him.
thinking. He
right?
probably babysat him when he was little before he went to college.
Yeah.
When he was in high school.
Billy and Kate, their actors were 20 and 21 at the time of filming.
Okay.
So I'll just assume they're recent graduates.
Yeah, otherwise I just assumed it was like a work study program.
At the
It feels a little
sorry, at the bank, not at the bar.
Yeah, the bar I assumed was just to be nice. Damn.
I don't, work study at the. You're a bar back. Work study. She's not getting paid, so it counts as
No.
an internship.
She's volunteering. Oh, because they're saving the restaurant or the bar that then nobody seems to give a fuck about after
Yeah,
2
right?
seconds later. Anyway,
Yeah, so Billy, he's interested in Kate. She's interested
'Cause she's
in him.
cute.
She is cute.
he's cute.
This is
They're a
at
cute
this
couple.
time. This was like the only movie that she wasn't nude in. Her actress Phoebe Cates was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, my parents love that movie, but would not let me see it. I still haven't seen it to this day.
Well, there is a scene of her getting out of a pool and dropping her bikini top.
Bosoms?
Bosoms, breasticles.
Not breasts. Not titties. Never
Honkers,
seen those before in my life.
bazongas.
Not the bazongas.
Wait. You're saying you've never seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High
Mm-hmm.
or breasts before?
Both.
I'd look down. Straight ahead, all times.
I literally, my parents owned that movie when I was growing up, and I just,
They wouldn't let you watch it? And you never tried
No.
to sneak it either? Like, haha, Teenage Rebellion. I'm going to watch my parents' favorite movie.
no. I think my teenage rebellion was that I stayed up to watch Family Guy,
You're
even though my parents hated it.
You're the most boring person in the world. And
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
I know. It's true.
I have a series recording set for The Rifleman and Adam 12, and you're the most boring person.
I used to sneak snacks and then put the empty bags back in the cabinet. Does that count?
At that point, you're just making it more obvious.
Well, I was trying to. I don't know. I was like 15.
In like 5th or 6th grade, I would come home from school,
Mm-hmm.
and I would watch Scooby-Doo
Classic.
was on when I got home from school, and we had Coke in the basement, Coca-Cola, not
Thank you
K
for the
and-
clarification, Dan.
but it was not in the fridge, and I never would put it in the fridge. But like
Okay, I see
after
nothing
school,
wrong with that.
I would have a war because I couldn't drink soda without permission from my parents. Is that not a normal thing? Like I wasn't supposed to
I
just
don't
be
know.
drinking soda on the regular. It was like a treat.
Well, it was a treat for me too, but that seems a little strict. But what do I know?
But I would be sneaking a warm Coca-Cola while watching
okay.
Scooby-Doo in the basement.
Take back what you just said to me, because that's lame, Dan.
I know it's lame.
Also, if you just heard a ripping sound, it's because I was using a napkin and it ripped. So, in case you were curious, I know that you were.
Billy gets gifted
A mogwai.
a Mogwai. I always thought it was a Mowgli, and then I was like, no,
That's
Mowgli is the
or
Jungle
not
Book.
Lion King. Yeah, that's
Uh,
the one.
A Mogwai. He names it Gizmo.
Gizzy.
He's adorable. Baby Yoda ain't got shit on him.
Gizmo walked so Baby Yoda could run.
No, Gizmo ran so Baby Yoda could waddle. Gizmo's cuter. Those cooing sounds that he makes when he's like all tuckered out and going to sleep.
Oh, yeah, he's adorable.
I
Thank
would
you,
die.
Howie, for your service.
I would die for that rodent.
Thank you, Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
Howie Mandel died for our sins by making this movie.
Yeah.
You know, even though he's a magician,
So he came back
With-
from the dead?
no acting experience is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So next day, Billy and Pete hang out. Pete being Corey Feldman.
My fists are clenched.
And as they're hanging out, Pete accidentally knocks over a bottle of water, which gets Gizmo wet. And Gizmo...
Dan! You could have said that. He splashes Gizmo with some water. There. You could have
Getting
said
him-
that, Daniel.
getting him wet.
Okay, I'll make a confession. I was calling Gizmo Glizzy the entire movie. The entire film.
And then 5 puffballs pop off of Gizmo after he convulses.
Yes.
And guess what?
What?
Gizmo's a mommy.
Congrats, Gizzy.
If he ate them all, would he be the Gizzy Gobbler?
Yes.
Billy tells his dad, and his dad's like, I can make money off of this because it's the 80s.
No. Was he called the Pritzler Pet or whatever?
Yeah.
Pritzler Pet?
It's always the
remember what their
Pritzler
name is.
something because he
Yeah.
always got to throw his name in there. So he brings it to a science teacher to examine it, and he drops a drop of water on him. A new one pops out. Teacher keeps it to examine, and Billy leaves.
Poor Gizzy.
Yeah.
He birthed so many babies.
And
in
they
this
all
movie.
suck.
And
Gizmo's
Stripe
nice.
can catch hands on sight too.
Stripe and the rest of them are destructive, vindictive, mean, nefarious.
Mm-hmm. Gizmo,
Unlike Gizmo,
is
who's
nice.
perfect.
He is an angel sent directly from heaven.
Yeah. That night, Billy finds his dog nearly hanged to death in Christmas lights on their front porch.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
And they think, it's gotta be Mrs. Deagle.
That crusty bitch is behind this.
No footprints, though. It was actually
It's because
Stripe.
she floated.
It was Stripe. It was Stripe.
Stripe is also.
It was Mrs. Deagle floating on Stripe.
Ugh. 2 crusties.
Yeah. So that night, Billy goes to the bar again, and Kate is trying to persuade Mr. Futterman to walk home instead of driving.
Well, he's complaining about, like, he's being racist very loudly.
Complaining about Asian people, I think.
Yeah.
There comes a point where some people are so over the top racist that you don't know who they're being racist against, and I'm like, is that better?
In this movie or in general?
Just in general. Like, sometimes people are, like, so far gone that I'm like, well, nobody's gonna, like, pick this up from you because nobody knows what you're saying.
Yeah. At that point, you're just like, okay.
I hate
You're
those
wrong.
I hate those sling bows. I don't know what that is. Go ahead.
Hate is wrong, but okay.
Okay. So Kate says the best story in film history about why she hates Christmas.
I don't. Oh. Can I say a controversial statement?
Can I say the statement?
Yes.
Say your controversial statement first. I want to make sure that I get it right.
Her dad is stupid. Okay, say your statement now, Dan.
I was 9 years old.
Oh no, you're gonna actually read it like this?
Me and Mom,
okay.
how do you want me to read it? I was 9 years old.
No, I just
Me and
wanted
Mom
you
were
to give
decorating
the
the tree.
gist.
No,
Fine, this is
word for
fine.
word. Me and Mom
Okay.
were decorating the tree, waiting for Dad to come home from work. A couple hours went by. Dad wasn't home. He was having sex with Mrs.
No,
Deagle.
that is not true.
So
No!
Mom called the office. No answer. Christmas Day came and went, and still nothing. So the police began a search. 4 or 5 days went by. Neither of us could eat or sleep. Everything was falling apart. It was snowing outside. The house was freezing. So I went to try and light up the fire. And that's when I noticed the smell. The firemen came and broke through the chimney top, and me and Mom were expecting them to pull out a dead cat or a bird. Instead, they pulled out my father. He was dressed in a Santa Claus suit. He'd been climbing down the chimney, his arms loaded with presents. He was going to surprise us. He slipped and broke his neck. He died instantly. And that's how I found out there was no Santa Claus.
Y'all didn't smell the body before the fire?
Yeah, it took 3 days for them to smell him. But yeah, I agree with you. Her dad is stupid. Why are you climbing down? Just climb in at the bottom and pop out if you want to do that.
Just come to the front door and be like, I knew you were awake, so I was trying to... Sorry, I just hit the microphone. I knew you were awake, so I was trying to be polite. Ho, 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 I'm Santa.
Ho, ho, ho. Good thing I didn't die.
What real human with a brain thinks to themselves, yeah, I can fit down the chimney with all these presents?
Fuck yeah. I can fit in that pipe.
Idiot. Stupid man. I know.
Are you saying
real.
he deserved to die?
Well, he's not real.
So say
So
it.
yeah, kind of. If this was a real person, tragedy. This is fake. They came up with this in a boardroom. Stupid.
So after the story, Billy asks her out, and she goes, "Sure."
The most romantic time to ask someone out. Right after they tell you their villain origin story.
And then next night, the creatures, the gremlins, they're so hungry. They're begging to be fed. And they're like, he looks at the clock. It's before midnight. Sure. He gives them all food. Gizmo doesn't want anything. Gizmo's under the weather. Gizmo's feeling blue. He's bullied.
Gizmo's a good boy.
He's the Rudolph.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. So
he doesn't deserve this.
At the school, the science teacher is performing Nazi testing
Oh God, the science teacher is too much.
the gremlin, and he leaves a sandwich on the table, and the creature can reach it and eat it, and uh-oh, it's 2:20 a.m. You know what that means? It's after midnight.
Gasp. Thank you, Dan, for that astute observation.
Next day,
My God.
Christmas Eve, Rand leaves with the dog for a toy convention. All the creatures have disappeared except for Gizmo, and they've been replaced by soccer ball-sized cocoons.
The pupas. Do you think, okay, Gage said it is, but I'm asking you because apparently you're the be-all end-all for me, Dan.
Okay. Oh,
Is it
I am cutting that out and putting
No,
I'm getting a
no.
tattoo of that waveform.
That's gonna be.
You are the be-all and end-all for me, Dan.
Have you seen? That's on par. Have you ever watched Riverdale?
No. But I've seen a lot of clips of it.
Are you
It
familiar
means.
with We're Endgame, Archie? That's the vibe I just gave accidentally.
You did, yes. But what am I?
It's like those
Unload on
TikToks
me.
where, oh God. It's like the TikToks where people are like, "Oh, I can't sleep. Can I just put on some sounds? Do you mind?"
Do you mind if I put
Yours
some white
is-
noise?
Yeah, and yours is you're the be all and end all for me, Dan.
It's on repeat.
Oh God.
Anyway, what was your point?
Oh, is this supposed to be like Alien?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't remember.
So Billy checks the wires of the clock because it still reads 11:35. He had
They
fed
snapped.
them after midnight.
Gasp.
Those gremlins. They're gremlins.
They're Gremmys.
Rand is out of his league at the convention, so he's going to come home early and be home late that night. Billy and Pete go to meet the science teacher at the school. The teacher calls the creature its pupil stage.
There's a menopause joke in this movie. Oh.
Teacher says Merry Christmas to all the students. He'll see them after break. But little does he know, he won't, because the cocoon starts to hatch. All the other cocoons start to hatch too, and Gizmo hides in a football helmet.
Now, I have a comment.
Mhm.
They didn't seem like they were so mischievous and naughty when they were Gremlin or when they were Mogwai. I think that they got fed up and, well, specifically Spike always naughty or Stripe always naughty.
Uh-huh.
The one that was being tested on, I think he only ate the food to get back at the teacher. I don't think he was always bad. Because why is Gizzy so nice? Do you think, I mean, like, if he ate, he'd probably turn into a little brat.
Well, they were a brat before they ate.
Yeah, but...
I think Gizmo's just got that good personality.
Hmm.
And the rest of them are bad boys.
Bad to the bone.
Also, Gizmo is always watching TV.
He loves TV.
He does.
He just wants to sleep and watch TV, and honestly, respect. I can respect it.
Yeah, so teacher calls Billy at the bag saying they've hatched. He goes to the school, and the creature has killed the teacher and shoved the syringe from the blood tests in his ass.
Oh my God. Another product placement when the teacher tries, "Come out, I just want to take a look at you," and he tries to feed him a Snickers bar.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know, you're probably going to say this in the fun facts, I apologize for ruining your facts, but there is supposed to be a scene that took place in McDonald's in this movie.
Oh, I did?
And instead of them eating hamburgers, they were going to be eating humans.
There are a lot of deleted scenes from this movie that sound fun that I didn't watch, but they sound fun.
I don't know where you can watch them, but I'd really like to see that McDonald's.
Probably on the DVD. I don't know if they filmed the
No, 'cause-
the McDonald's scene.
Oh, poopy. I wish they had.
Yeah. So they see the creature. It's not bigger than before, but it's malicious with sharp teeth, claws.
But it's only got like
Skin.
6 claws. It's only got 3 fingers on each hand. And I love
when things only have 3 fingers on each hand. It is so cute.
Wolverine.
He's got regular hands.
But he's got 3 claws.
That doesn't count because he also has his fingers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
talking
I didn't
like-
realize you were gatekeeping 6.
I'm gatekeeping numbers
Digits?
divisible by 3. That was really exhausting, Dan.
You had to you had to remember one math term.
I couldn't
It took
do
it all out of you.
I couldn't do it, Dan.
Back at the house, they've pulled Gizmo out of the hiding place and they're torturing him.
No, he's scared.
I know. Billy's mom goes upstairs with a knife. Smart
Classic.
woman. Billy calls her and says to leave the house immediately after she doesn't find anything. But the creature disconnects the phone line.
Classic.
She goes downstairs and she sees the gremlins in the kitchen having a time of their life. Baking, cooking,
Getting stuck in the food processor.
living the dream. And she turns the blender on, kills one of them,
Classic. And his little peats are sticking out at the end.
sprays cooking spray on a gremlin, makes it retreat in the
Classic.
microwave, nukes this thing.
His head. You almost said fucker.
I don't know what I was going to actually say. I said nukes this, and then I ran out of words.
Dan doesn't swear. O'Keefe almost just swore.
Yeah, you've never heard me swear before.
I don't think I have, Dan.
You absolutely have. I swore on this podcast, on this episode.
Maybe I just block it out because you're too pure of a human. You can get that on the other arm.
So she stabs one on the kitchen counter and one hiding in the Christmas tree. And it attacks Billy, who runs in. But he grabs a sword.
Why do they have swords by their front doors? Please answer
I need to
me.
put a sword by my front door now.
Gage wants swords by our front door. I said no. Absolutely not.
Why not?
And on behalf of
Why
your
not?
girlfriend, I'm going to say no. That's dangerous.
Okay, decorative swords hanging over the front door.
Absolutely not. Over the front door?
Like crossed, like pirates.
Somebody's
swords
going to
do.
get decapitated. And if it's me, I'm haunting you.
You really overestimate how sharp I can keep a sword.
Well, I don't know, Dan. I just...
My
think it's a
sword is
poor
going to be
idea.
as sharp as your math skills. Dull.
So very bad.
um,
Very dull.
the last creature, though, Stripe, he's got a mohawk.
Honestly, fuck Stripe.
I would.
No,
He
no,
escaped.
that's not what I meant.
They track the creature to the YMCA where it's broken in and jumped in the pool.
Classic.
So it's just,
He's
it is
just
having
giving birth.
a self-orgy.
I hate that there are, like, Spike, or sorry, I always call him Spike. Stripe makes himself a girlfriend, because, like, sir, that's your child.
Yeah, right?
I'm like,
That's a real what's his name? He directed Annie Hall, Woody Allen situation.
oh, God. As soon as you said Annie Hall, my body went into shock.
Oh God. So they retreat from the YMCA and thousands of gremlins emerge. They go Billy goes home.
Gage says that part's so terrifying, but I think it's... I love, like, the combination of stop motion and puppetry in this movie.
I do too, yeah.
It is so... It's camp, Dan. It's
It's
camp.
camp. That you've declared it. This is camp.
This movie, yassified. It's camp. Gremlins, gay film.
Is it more or less camp than Dead Poet Society?
More.
Mm.
Dead Poet Society isn't camp. It's just gay. Like, it's just gay. There's a lot. It's homoerotic. This movie is over the top.
Fair. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that movie is, like, understated. This movie is just bonkers.
Billy goes to the police station, tries to get the cops to do something, but they don't, because they're cops. How? Politics.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. The synopsis that I'm reading, it says, the Gremlins are busy little creatures.
Ew, who wrote that?
I don't know, but they are busy little creatures. They just go out to destroy, cause havoc, cause mayhem, kill Mrs.
They go to the
Deagle.
bar. Honestly,
Mrs. Deagle gets flown out of her house by her stair lift moving too fast.
that's hilarious.
It is. The deaths that they cause are very
yeah.
funny. It's so over the top.
I know. Gage was like, okay, so he was keeping count of all the deaths. I can't remember the total number, but he said there was a certain number of official deaths and a certain number of assumed deaths.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was like 10 total, but I can't remember.
They demolish half of the Futterman's house.
They didn't deserve it,
with
but...
his Kentucky Harvester that he brought up earlier in the movie.
The Gremlins, they're real. His wife, she's just like so average.
Yeah. Billy goes to the bar where Kate is being held hostage by the Gremlins, who are doing, and I quote, drinking beer, getting drunk, playing cards, and cheating and being caught, breakdancing, playing with the ceiling fans, and tearing stuff up as best they can. That sounds like a Casey Kasem description of what a club is like in 1984.
Correct.
These
is that
cool
not
cats,
what a club is like?
These cool cats like to drink beer, get drunk, play cards, and sometimes get caught. That's right. It's Casey and the Sunshine Band this week at number 8.
Thank you, Dan.
I listened to the rewind of American Top 40 on Sunday mornings. I love it so much.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway.
Casey Kasem was Catholic. I did a project on him in 8th grade.
He was also Shaggy.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo. My love.
He can be both of those things at the same time. We had to do projects on famous Catholics, and I had Casey Kasem, and I was like, who the fuck? And my mom was like, oh, you got Casey Kasem?
The eternal teenager.
Literally, some people had like the Pope. Like,
wait, so you didn't get to choose? You were just assigned?
We pulled names out of a hat. Like,
I assumed there was like the Pope, Mother Teresa, Casey Kasem.
Yeah, famous Catholics.
One of these things is not like the other.
I think I also got Anna Quindlen, who's like an author.
Okay. Oh, I thought Anna Quindlen was another girl in your class, and you were going to say she got, I don't know who.
No, that is incorrect.
Anyway, while Anna figures this out, Kate realizes that they're afraid of fire and light, so she picks up a camera and takes a picture, making sure that the flash is on, makes him cringe. She gets to the door, but she's stopped by a gremlin in sunglasses with a gun.
This scene, I think I said this already, but I'm saying it again. This scene went on for 15 hours.
It did. I loved it. It's so absurd.
I loved it too. Gage was like, this is so boring. I was like, you're boring.
He thought it was boring?
He just hates fun.
Yeah. And he can't defend himself.
No, he can't. Come on the air, Gage.
Coward. I really hope the people who don't know us, who listen, are like not convinced that Gage is actually real.
I know. They probably think that I like have an old boyfriend's body in my apartment, like in Psycho.
The gun-toting gremlin is forced to retreat because of Billy's headlights. Rand is still on his way home. Stops at a gas station, but he can't get through because the line is out. He sells one of his inventions, the smokeless ashtray, to the attendant.
God.
And it is still smoking up a storm.
It looks like a little,
Looks like a bird feeder.
Oh, I was thinking it looked like you put like a fancy, like voila.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a chicken
like a dinner
underneath.
tray that you would reveal.
Yes.
Um,
Casey Kasem was a vegan.
whoa.
I
Now you're just on Casey Kasem's Wikipedia page?
Well, no, I was on beliefnet.com. I don't know how I got here. I'm scared. They have his faith listed as other. I'll have you know that when I was in 8th grade, he was dubbed Catholic. Anyway.
And if there's anyone that you can trust to tell you what people's religion
It's an
is,
8th grader.
it is an 8th grade Catholic school teacher.
That too. She was crazy, that 8th grade teacher. I'll tell
Really?
you that. She didn't want us to wear Bermuda shorts on our 8th grade trip.
Okay.
She said specifically no plaid shorts. And my mom wrote her an email to get that changed. Anyway.
So I'm sorry. I did jump the gun a little bit.
Why? We were talking about the...
This is where Kate tells the story.
Oh,
She just said that she didn't like Christmas Eve before.
Well, the point remains.
Yeah.
Her dad's stupid, and that story did not pull at my heartstrings whatsoever. Say I'm cold.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm a full 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that if I had children and my husband turned to me and said, Anna, I'm going to pretend I'm Santa this year, I'd say, okay, go off, King. But if he said, I'm going to slide down the chimney, I'd say, like hell you are.
I'd be
absolutely not.
I would be like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you gain Santa's magical powers? Are you going to be able to fit through that pole? Are you going to be able to fit through that pipe? No, sir.
I'd be like, you really thought, sir, you really thought that you're going to... I've seen what a damper inside of a gas fireplace looks like at my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
An animal couldn't even fit through it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, you have to, like, call someone if a small bird gets caught.
Yeah. Get the 80s on the phone. I got some bones to pick.
So Billy and Kate figure that the Gremlins are somewhere dark, and they go and they see that they're all watching Snow White and having the time of their life.
This scene is so freaking cute. And there's a Mickey Mouse shadow in this scene.
There is, yeah.
I want to know, the 80s must have been a simpler time that Universal and Disney just got along all willy-nilly.
This is a Warner Bros. Movie. So I don't know why Disney got along with them so well. This was before Michael Eisner became CEO of Disney.
Before he came and roar, destroyed all the I can't think of what I'm trying to say. The friendships? I don't know.
So Kate and Billy start a gas leak in the basement, and they're going to blow up the building.
Classic.
But the Gremlins, they notice this, and a chase ensues. They manage to barricade the door, and after a few minutes, boom! Theater explodes. All the Gremlins are dead.
Except
but one. Stripe is alive.
A naughty boy.
He is in the window of the Montgomery Ward's department store. He left the theater to get food.
Iconic. He went to get 3 Musketeers specifically and 1 Twizzler. I have never in my life related to something more than that moment.
So they go into Montgomery Ward's. They break in. Billy grabs a bat and looks for Stripe, and Kate goes into the back rooms and looks for anything useful, maybe lights. Stripe
Gizmo
uses
vibes.
Anything in the store he can find to attack Billy, and at this Montgomery Ward's, he's able to find, in short succession, a tennis ball launcher, a small crossbow, and a chainsaw.
Oh, God.
He also rides a circular saw across the floor as it pulls him. Kate is just turning stuff on randomly. The music, lights, and a water fountain.
The water fountain.
Stripe gets distracted by the lights. The first light of dawn is visible in the east on Christmas morning. Rand and the dog are back into town. Rand is alerted that he needs to go into Montgomery Ward's by the dog.
Classic.
Barney's a king. Gizmo, who was in Billy's backpack, is now roaming the store free. And
Poor Gizzy. Poor Glizzy.
he meets up with Barney, the dog. And Gizmo has a toy car that he can drive around in. They find Stripe, who has discovered the water fountain.
The what, Dan?
The watery fountain.
Ooh.
It's wet.
Ew. It's like when you said they got Gizmo wet earlier, but you said it and made it weird.
I don't know what you mean. I thought that was completely normal.
That was not normal at all. I hated it. I hated it.
So Billy rushes to the garden area and he finds that Stripe is poised to reproduce.
Ew! Oh! Ew, Dan! I am literally about to stop recording and go throw up. That was awful. Ew!
Imagine
Poised to...
5 years into a marriage, you come home from a long day of work, your partner is lying on the bed as you walk into the bedroom door and they go, "Hello, honey. I'm poised to reproduce."
That's when the divorce papers manifest. I don't even call a lawyer. The papers just show up.
So Gizmo drives his car into a leaning shovel, which flies through the air and strikes a window shade, rolling it all the way to the top, letting in the streaming sunlight onto Stripe, killing him. Stripe melts into a puddle of gunk and falls into the water.
Oh, Dan. I'm mad at you. I can't. My ears. It's stuck in my ears. That's my sleep paralysis demon, is you saying the phrase poised to reproduce. Yes, that's disgusting.
So Stripe has one last jump in him, but he can't stand the sun, and he does eventually totally die.
It's gross.
It is. You ever see a puddle of gunk jump?
No.
Now you have.
Wow.
That evening, they're watching the news about the destruction. It's all described as a series of unexplained accidents and fires. And the Chinese junk shop owner appears, and he's like, "You idiots! You don't know how to take care of them. You dumb fools." And he takes Gizmo back. But before he goes, he tells Billy one day he might be ready to become Gizmo's caretaker. So there is a happy ending for all of us.
I was still crying in the club. I was crying the whole time. I was wishing that Gizmo would say, "I love you, Billy," instead of "Bye, Billy."
Mm-hmm.
But I'll settle. I'll settle.
Bye, Billy. Good enough.
I would have loved, "I love you, Billy." I'd have been like, "Damn, Gizmo, I love you too."
And that's Gremlins.
Loved it. Loved every second of it.
I did too. I thought it was very fun. I think that this is definitely a movie that only works because all of the Gremlins are puppets.
Yes.
As opposed to computer generated.
Yeah. I love that they're all puppets. I think that adds such a charming quality to it.
Yeah, and them being puppets adds a dimension to their character because you're like, these puppets are fucking insane.
Yeah.
That's fun. And they're real. They're tactic. You see them in the world. You don't there's no uncanny valley effect.
Even when it's the stop motion to show like a horde of them, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I just like it. I just think it's so classic and so fun and so camp. It's so camp.
And I think
Somebody should have gone to the Met Gala that year dressed as a gremlin.
I think that it works really well. It's such a simple plot. It's just a survive the night kind of story.
Oh, it's just such a classic camp movie. It's
That's
a
right,
classic
kids.
slasher film from the 80s.
This week's episode of In Conclusion is sponsored by Camp. Camp! When you hit adulthood, it suddenly has a very different meaning.
Listen, some of us heard a word and now we can't stop using it, okay?
You want to hear some trivia?
Absolutely.
So this was Chris Columbus's first movie that he wrote. He wrote it as a spec script just to show to people of his writing ability in hopes that they would hire him to write other things. And then Steven Spielberg saw it and he was like, I just want to make this. A dream that I aspire to. The time machine prop from The Time Machine can be seen behind Rand when he's on the phone with his wife while he's attending the convention. And then a moment later, the machine has disappeared and several onlookers in the back are astonished.
Because it's
a time machine.
Love that.
Here are the deleted scenes.
Okay, I'm ready.
Rand looking in a store in Chinatown with a shopkeeper who doesn't know English, and that's when he's greeted by the boy who leads him to his grandfather's shop. Unneeded scene. Billy is lectured by his boss for being late.
Unneeded.
Billy sees the Reverend on the street. The Reverend tries to give Billy his Christmas card, but he can't find it in his pile, so he tells Billy he'll just mail it to him.
That's stupid.
Kate shows Billy Mrs. Deagle's plans to sell their houses and build a nuclear plant.
Oh god, that's timely for the 80s.
Stripe listens to a bunch of carolers while hidden in the snow.
That's kind of cute.
He's actually singing along and making the carolers wonder who's off key.
Wait, that's so cute.
Yeah. Mr. Futterman tells his wife that Mrs. Deagle has closed down the noodle factory where he worked for good. His wife then reassures him there is more to life than macaroni.
Couldn't be.
Bill and Kate find Mr. Corbin with a clock smashed on his head. They then find Gerald in the vault. Billy tries to free Gerald. However, Gerald thinks that Billy wants to free him just so Billy and Kate would get promotions. Billy then closes the vault and tells Kate that Gerald will be better off in there and they'll come to get him later.
That's kind of okay.
I know. That's all the deleted scenes. Phoebe Cates, one of her screams in the tavern is real because a giant cockroach crawled out in front of her during a take.
Oh, God, that's awful. That's a nightmare.
Studio sent a note complaining that the movie showed the Gremlins too much. And Steven Spielberg responded with, well, why don't we just cut them all out and call it humans?
That's the weirdest complaint I've ever heard in my life.
It shows the good part of the movie too much. There's not enough
shows the fun too much. There's too much fun in this movie.
And in the original script, Billy's mother was decapitated by the Gremlins. And her head would roll down the stairs.
Oh my god. That's too much. That's doing too much.
And Gizmo was originally going to die and turn into a butterfly. Weird.
What the
Wouldn't have
fuck
worked.
does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay. Don't love it.
Kevin,
Me in the boardroom when they pitched that. Don't love it.
the actors who were considered for Billy,
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Bacon,
King.
Judd Nelson,
King.
and Emilio Estevez. Tim Burton was considered to direct before Joe Dante was hired.
Honestly, this seems like it has Tim Burton written all over it.
Yeah. And in the original cut, after Gizmo pulls up the greenhouse blinds, Billy made a dive to pull up the remaining blinds to expose Stripe to sunlight, but the test audiences liked the idea of Gizmo saving the day.
Yeah. That's Gizzy. He's saving everyone. He's a good boy.
And then this and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom are the two reasons why the PJ-13 movie rating exists.
Yep.
Because they were both rated PG.
And they were both really
Not
scary.
PG movies. Steven Spielberg was going through a lot in 1984.
Yeah, wasn't that when he was getting divorced, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the trivia I got. There's a lot more trivia on this movie. It's a very well documented film. But that's the stuff that I thought that was interesting.
It's probably because this is one of those films that people knew was going to be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So they, made sure all the details were followed and kept up with.
Yeah. Would this movie be better, worse, or the same with Jonathan Taylor Thomas as Billy?
Yo. I'd love to see it. I'd love to just get a little sample of it.
Yeah, a taste. A scene.
Yeah. Just a scene.
Even just
a screen test. Just a screen test.
Just a bite. A nibble.
Mm-hmm. A crumb.
I think, honestly, George Clooney as Gerald, I could see it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. I'd have a good time.
I'm glad for you, Dan.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add about it. I thought it was fun.
Good.
And that's really it.
Good. I'm glad you had fun. That brings me joy.
I'm happy to bring you great joy. I know
Thank
I am
you,
the light
Dan.
of your life. On a
are.
scale of 1 to 5, 1 second. I can't ask that question yet.
Oh, okay.
Because I need to make sure I have the wording correct with how I'm going to say it.
Oh, God.
On a scale of 1 to 5 gremlins poised to reproduce,
Dan!
what do you give this film?
Oh, God, I hate that phrase. I give it 5, but I hate that
Oh,
phrase.
wow, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I really had fun. I really like it. I guess maybe like a 4.9 because it didn't age well in a couple places.
Mm-hmm.
But minus the not aging well, which I hate to say it, but I feel like
it definitely has not. There are definitely some parts that you're going like,
yeah, but it's so fun, and I think like part of the reason why I like it so much is like the first couple times the first time I ever watched it was with Gage when we first started dating, and it was one of his favorite movies from when he was younger, and it's just fun to watch with him because he likes it so much, and I like it because I like cute things. So, right up my alley. And I really like 80s movies, as you know. So it's just a good time. It's just a good old time.
It is.
How about you, Dan?
I'm going to give
this was your first time
it was
watching
my first time.
too.
Yeah, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was good. And I think to do a final point on the things not aging well, it is definitely less harsh because the characters that say the things that haven't aged well are all assholes. And they're not meant to be seen in a good light.
They're the characters that back then, even watching it, you were probably like, ooh.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not that it hasn't aged well.
I don't I think in general it's aged well. There are bits of dialogue that haven't aged well, but
the scenes with the salesman who owns the Mogwai originally, I think those are kind of rough.
Yes.
But the scenes with the neighbor, who very clearly is supposed to be like the kind of guy that says stuff and you're like, oh, those are more acceptable for what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Than, you know what I'm saying? Is that making sense?
It does. Anyway, my rating, 3 out of 5. I had fun.
3!
3. That's a good rating. That is good.
5!
Not 5.
You got me fucked up.
So that is it for this episode of In Conclusion. We end on a sour note. Anna's mad at me.
A sour note. So sour. Like Stripe hiding in the snow while carolers are singing.
Who's off key?
Not
If you
me.
want to support In Conclusion, you can do so on Facebook and Twitter and In Conclusion, on Instagram at In Conclusion Podcast. If you want to find me, I'm on Twitter at Dan O'Keefe86 and on TikTok at Not Dan O'Keefe. Next week, we will be back talking about Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
Which I've never seen before, so this is going to be an adventure.
We are going to be popping our Gremlins 2 cherries, everyone.
Stop, Daniel!
Anna, where can they find you?
You can find me sobbing to death on Instagram at OptimusPrime818. Or you can find me on Twitter, where I actually did post a hot new tweet this week.
Ooh, this
at
week.
Autobots, yeah, literally. At Autobots Roll Out, capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O in Roll and the O in Out are zeros, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
As I said, we'll be back next week with Gremlins 2, the new batch. I almost said the new Patch Adams.
The new Patch Adams.
So get excited for that. In the meantime, everybody stay safe, have fun, get vaccinated. Bye-bye.
Bye. I've noticed that pattern with people. If they don't feel confident in themselves, they'll make fun of me in front of others because they think that they can. No, Dan!
A Creative Land podcast.